We back live, kind of like a midweek special. Let me turn this down a little bit so we could get our levels up a little bit.
Much thank yous to my brothers for doing this, accommodating me as I prepare for my travels.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Hey, stay ready.
Yeah.
Far too gracious.
Stay ready. Still gotta be ready.
Actually, Friday's a good day to film this or to stream because it's a lead up time, So absolutely. Do you mind sharing with the audience while you're traveling, or is that under wraps?
Go watch Drink Champs Uncle Luke episode. That's all I can say.
That's a hell of a tease.
Yep.
That's some implications there.
The most recent one.
Intriguing.
Yeah. Well, safe travels, and hopefully everything turns out golden. And much salute to that whole process. Kam G, what's new, man? It's Friday evening. We live on a Friday evening.
I'm good, man. Home early. Week was tough in the gym, man. Getting back to it. It's like the quick travel weekend from last weekend, getting to the fight, and then getting prepared for another fight. And I'm ready. It's just kind of kick my ass a little bit this week.
You got booked.
I'm booked. I'm booked and busy. Then we got a fight on October 26th.
Oh,
so
back to back, just
it's a tough. Well, I think we'll have a little break after this. It's when we talk about these fighters, man. Much respect to these guys that stay busy because it takes a lot out of your body. It's not only physically exhausting but mentally. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing that with my guy as he gets prepared. But we'll be ready. We're ready, and like I said, October 26th. Sure, I'll be able to share some information before we get to that day as far as streaming for those around it, like those local fight cards. You can see those guys on the up and coming up. So yeah, we got some of that going. So
that's potentially a big day for me too. What city?
Dallas. We'll be in Dallas, Irving, Texas specifically, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth.
You know what? We could if you send me the link of the pay-per-view, if there's one for that fight, man, I could do a watch along and
Yeah, there will be.
Do my own YouTube commentary.
It'll be quality broadcasting too. The last time we did it, he decided not to use commentary, which as I was making watch it, I enjoyed it. Some people, I think it's just up in there. Sometimes on these smaller cards, you have guys that are just trying to get their feet wet. They may not know as much about the sport, so that production value can go either way. But I do think the promotion company that's doing this is called Victory Boxing League, hosted by my man Cyrus Tidwell. So out here in Dallas. So actually, they might be a potential guest. We have to timestamp that. We might need to get him on there. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
a promoter on the show.
That's a lot. It's a lot that goes into putting these fights on. So I think it's something that we can all learn something from that. So
yeah,
here we go. We shopping ideas live on.
Yeah, man, we're doing it in real time. I mean, and anyone who listens watches this show, if you're a fighter, send a message to us and we'll see if we could get you on, and you could promote your fights, and we could be that vessel, that platform for you to get your shine on, and we could all grow together. Fellas, as you know, our show is accustomed for a Sunday post-mortem, post-event. This time we're doing it a little different. We're doing pre-event, so we could have predictions. We could have in-depth conversation. We could have that excitement of what is to be. So, fellas, what is to be? LT Kam G, who's fighting?
Who's fighting?
Ooh, man, UFC is like it's like the old school No Limit. They just release albums every week. Remember these release
Mixtape Wayne.
Every week, just you flooded with UFC 304, UFC 306. It's you gotta love it. You know, the fighters are busy. Now we have a big one. You know, this is a big one for the light heavyweight. We have Pereira versus Roundtree. Fellas, are you watching this one? And what do you feel about this matchup? Big matchup.
I'm watching it. I'm in.
Must see TV.
Yeah. Anytime he's fighting, I'm trying to check it out.
It's somebody that can really make an argument for, GOAT status. What do you think?
GOAT, yeah. I mean, he's done it so fast.
Initially,
yeah.
That's kind of how it goes.
Mm-hmm. He's is it official that he's the actual UFC boogeyman now? Probably the scariest fighter in the UFC.
Is that the right term? Because he might be. Yeah. Is he the cash cow? Who's the cash cow?
That's kind of what I'm looking at. Hey, is it? Either way, must see TV. I'm tuning in. If you get me on the UFC,
used to be Izzy. Izzy was a cash cow. Definitely Izzy. You could see the promotion put on Izzy. And the whole animation, him in video games and stuff. Do I see the same injection of funds being put into Pereira? I don't think so. Maybe he doesn't because he's not speaking English, and I don't know how to promote him. But he's definitely a bad man. His background is kickboxing. Him and Izzy have history. They fought before in the kickboxing circuit. They know each other very well. Izzy lives kickboxing, starts mixed martial arts. Guess what? Pereira follows him. They have the epic first fight where Izzy loses, and then the second fight where Pereira gets knocked out clean. To whatever follows up after that with Izzy, to Pereira getting the belt back in emphatic fashion. And now he's fighting Khalil Roundtree. I love his story from being a kid that grew up in Las Vegas, overweight kid. He was 300 and something pounds. He used to always drive past the UFC billboard, and he started doing mixed martial arts just to lose weight. Just to lose weight. That was his only goal. Now he's fighting for the light heavyweight belt. And he's a highly ranked fighter in the UFC. And he's dangerous too, by the way. He cracks people. He knocks out people. So his story's great. But fellas, let's keep it real. I don't see him beating Pereira.
Man, for his story, that's a win getting to that stage. But I don't see that either.
Where do these fights take place?
Utah.
Utah.
At the Delta Center in Utah.
Salt Lake City, yeah.
Salt Lake City.
Yeah. So these are gonna be late.
Yeah, West Coast Mountain Time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised at the location, Utah.
That's interesting.
Like going to Utah
from LA. Well, one thing I can guarantee about the UFC fan base is there will be a lot of chance for USA in favor of the That's one thing I can tell you.
Patriotism runs high.
Nationalism.
America.
Yeah, in my hearts of hearts, I want Roundtree to win because I like the guy. I like the story. It's like the not quintessential stereotypical Rocky story, but it's a story of the underdog, the guy that was battling all sorts of things to just get on that stage, while Pereira is the all-star, all-world fighter who has fought all over the world, just destroying people. David and Goliath story. So I'm always on David's side. I don't know, just naturally. Talking about that card, we have women.
America loves an underdog.
Say that again.
America loves an underdog.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It makes a great story. Some fights on that undercard. We have women bantamweight co-main event. We have Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. Remember, Juliana Pena was the first lady to beat the Brazilian champ. I forgot her name.
Nunez?
Nunez, yes. Juliana Pena was the first lady to beat Nunez. Juliana Pena was the champ and great grappler, great with jiu-jitsu. Her story is also great. She's a mom, great. But she's gonna fight a very notable opponent in Raquel Pennington, and that I think I want to give it to Pena, but I think Pennington it's Pennington's. It's for Pennington to win.
Also, that's the conflict with these UFC fights is if you go on an emotional basis, you'll be wrong. Don't bet with your heart in UFC.
Or maybe be Dana White's friend. You may know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. The legend returns. I don't know, man. This guy's been in the UFC as long as I can remember. Jose Aldo is fighting.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo is fighting Mario Batistuta. Why is Jose Aldo fighting in a main UFC card? Is beyond me. You know, I remember Jose Aldo is the reason why Conor McGregor got famous, because he's, you know, he Conor, if you remember that whole rise of Conor McGregor, this is taking us back to like 2015, 2014, 2016 was his pre-fight conference. And he said he's going to go to Brazil in the favelas on a horse like the conquerors did back then to his ancestors. I was like, yo, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, man. That is wild.
And, you know, we talked about the UFC fans. They love that stuff. You know, this Irish guy saying, I'm coming in as an imperialist to Brazil to conquer you, Jose. And back then, Jose was a bad man, you know, with the scar on the face, the knockout power. He was supposedly he was known for his hands and everything. And he got knocked out in the first round by McGregor. And that's when McGregor became something. His pre-fight lead-ups were like antics and how he talked, the walk. Jose Aldo made McGregor, to me, for a person who at that time was a casual. I'm like, who is this guy who is talking like this? Now I want to see his butt get kicked. But Conor McGregor had a little bit of a 3-4 year run. And thank you, Jose. Jose's still in the UFC, fighting Mario Batistuta. I don't think Jose wins this bantamweight matchup. I think Mario Batistuta wins this by submission. Definitely not a knockout. Skipping over to the next card on the main, we have Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is Texas's very own. I love Kevin Holland. That's another probably the most busiest UFC fighter this year or these last 2 years. Whenever he fills in when fighters don't make weight, he fills in when fighters get injured. Good old Kevin Holland and Nature Boy, not Nature Boy, what's his name? Cowboy Cerrone. Those are the guys that fill in. I wouldn't say Holland is a journeyman. Would you say Holland is becoming a little bit of a journeyman and he's just reliable money for Dana White to fill in whenever he wants a middleweight fighter ready?
Man, third fight this year.
Yeah, he's busy. He's a busy man.
Your designated sub.
Because he's always in shape. He's always working out. And in the meantime, if you Google him, he's out there kicking butt in real life, like saving people. Like somebody attacked him with a gun or attacked people with a gun, and not knowing his hands is registered, he's actually a black belt in karate. He's a striker. So, anyways, he beat up some guy who attempted to rob him or rob a group of people. So he was like a hero. It's in Texas too. He could have got shot.
Yeah, everybody talking. 2nd degree black belt in kung fu, black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
No, he's a bad boy. And he's good. It's just that, I think they've thrown him to the wayside. They make him fight a lot. But he's a bad boy, and he has charisma, and he talk black. And I don't know if the audience are ready for him. Him and my man who's in the heavyweight. Like, he's just Kevin is Kevin, man. And he's dangerous. He's charismatic, but I don't want to say this and sound wrong, but he didn't get that chance that he needs where they lead him up to the fights that he needs to fight. But he's been fighting every day. Every person he fights is dangerous. So I'm like, dog, they're not saving him.
It's gonna be, but Dana White, what I'll give him credit is he does repay these favors. You know what I'm saying? So there may be an instance where, okay, you know, we look at this guy as a fill-in. He might be a main event where he becomes a fill-in on the main event. Like, hey, your title shot. Thank you. Like the most of it. So,
bro, look at this. Jose Aldo has fought 32 times, right? Kevin Holland is way younger than him. 26 fights. And I don't know how many of those are in the UFC.
Wait,
26 wins. My apologies. I mean,
his record's like 26-11.
Yeah, he fights a lot, man. Yeah. But again, LT, you're right. Maybe they rely on him and he's gonna get the bag regardless. He's ready. Dude over there messed up, didn't make weight. Hey, Kevin, come get this bag. So he's regardless, he's getting the bag.
Fighters fight.
All right, and then lastly is we have Caitlin Vieira versus Kyla Harrison. Kyla Harrison is an interesting character. She's new in the UFC. People that know her, she was the longtime champion, not in Bellator, but I think it's PFL. She was a former PFL champion for a long time. She was the face of PFL, I believe. Let me check my facts here. But now she's in her early 30s, has found her way to the UFC, just like you've seen people cross over from the Chandlers of the world to the Venom Page. I don't know how that's going to translate. She's now I wouldn't say in her fighting twilight. She's 34, so I don't know how that translates in the UFC. But she beat Holly Holmes, who's another veteran in the UFC, former world champion. So, and beat her through submission. Kayla is also an Olympian, I believe. She may be a judo Olympian, I believe. She won an Olympic
gold medalist.
Well, she won two, so she's won in she took gold in Rio de Janeiro, and she also took gold in London. That's 2012 and 2016. World class fighter. Again, how does that translate in the UFC? This is not the last fight promotions that she's been in. So I want to see how that translates and see if she's going to be marketed like, you know, some of the fighters who have crossed over, like Chandler. Yeah, PFL. She came from PFL. Like Chandler, and how Venom Page, who came from Bellator, how they pushed that promotion machine. But yeah, that's it for the UFC this weekend. Hopefully, my predictions didn't make you lose money. If you're doing your parlays, I am not a professional in predict. I'm just telling you what I feel with my heart, not with my thoughts. But I'll give you both predictions later on. But we have a lot to talk about, not only the UFC. So
we're coming down the line in order. Ooh, we just kind of threw these up here. Shoot.
Okay.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. This is the one I've been waiting on.
Oof.
Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol.
This a trilogy fight potentially, but maybe not because of the age factor. But 50-50 fight, in my opinion. Who y'all got?
Okay. Are you guys aware of the surgery that Beterbiev is coming off of?
Yeah, that's why the fight was canceled. What was that surgery? They were supposed to fight prior to this.
I believe it was a knee surgery.
Oh yeah, that don't. 39-year-old man, that don't sound good.
Right. Let me fact check that.
Oh yeah, Beterbiev also fought in the Olympics. Beterbiev and Usyk fought in 2012. They met in.
He's been around a long time. He got a lot of miles on his body, a lot of fights, a lot of big amateur background. So I mean, I have Beterbiev winning this fight. That's just, I don't know. That's more going off of a feel. But like LT saying, He did come off of surgery, so it's one thing when you in this fight game coming off of any surgery, any prior injury, it tends to come up. But hopefully he's healthy. We get the best version of him, and I'm hoping we get multiple fights out of this because there isn't really many fights for these guys to have.
A healthy Beterbiev versus a healthy Bivol. What do you predict?
So for a long time, I've been feeling like this. Beterbiev is undoubtedly the more dangerous puncher. I've seen them both in action. I've been waiting for this fight for a long time. But I think he has more holes in his defense. I think that Dmitry Bivol is more disciplined and more willing to stick to his game plan. And I see Bivol either outpointing him or winning by knockout in the later rounds. War of attrition, right? And so now, and I felt like that initially. If Bivol can protect himself, and it's going to be interesting because Bivol puts together some unreal video game combinations, and he puts them together. And so I'm interested to see what the fight plan looks like against a dangerous opponent like this. Do you keep applying pressure and hope that your opponent is on his back foot, or is it more calculated? Because we've seen them put together 8-punch combinations in fights.
Right.
So,
one thing with both fighters, we've seen both of them be hurt against what we could say lesser opponents. So they both have that, that part of their game where they can be exposed. And we actually wobbled in a fight, So I think since we've seen that from both fighters, it just kind of comes to like who's able to land that shot at the right time and take advantage of it. I think I'm more of a fan. Bob, I really enjoy both styles. Let me say that I enjoy both styles, but I really are leaning toward Beterbiev just because of the onslaught, the continued pressure, the raw strength and power. But,
like a lumberjack, ain't he?
Yeah, exactly. And
I chop wood, just
Yep. And I've actually stolen things from both of these guys from their training camp, so it's actually funny. So much respect to their regimen and getting prepared. I was watching Beterbiev, like he was using that sledgehammer on the tire for 12 rounds. And I had guys out today. We did 6 rounds, and it was brutal. It was brutal. So understanding the type of effort these guys put into these fights I'm just hoping for a good fight, competitive. Beterbiev coming off a knee surgery. I know we were trying to check that from about 5-6 months ago. He doesn't seem the type of guy to make excuses, so we're gonna get the best version of him.
Yeah, for me, I'm ready for this fight. I can't wait. It's exciting because of the styles and how they translate when they meet each other. Bivol, very much more of a shield fighter. Works that jab. It's very stiff, not as stiff as a Lennox Lewis stiff, but he knows how to work that jab to like a surgeon, right? Beterbiev is all on, all foot on gas, all pressure. He breaks you. He breaks your spirit. He breaks you in that ring. I don't know. A good jabber. Also, I don't want to relegate Bivol to just a jabber. He's also relentless. He also steps on that gas, but he knows how to find his range and he knows how to do what he needs to do within that range. Beterbiev, man, like LT said, he's a lumberjack. He's chopping you down. He's breaking you. So this is one of those fights where it gives me that Hagler Hans, like kind of like these are two forces that they both don't pull back. They're not pulling back. Like somebody has to break somebody's will. But from past fights, yes, like we have indicated, they both showed a frail, like a little vulnerability here and there when they got hurt because of that style, the style that they put forth while they fight. But still, I still give the, and I hate to say this because they're both dogs, I still give Beterbiev a little bit of an advantage because I've seen Beterbiev destroy some of the toughest. I've seen him. And Bivol, yes, what he did to Canelo was a masterpiece. Frustration. Canelo had no ways of getting inside Bivol. That was beautiful, but I can't wait to see this fight. But I give the slight edge to Beterbiev. But I think boxing wants Bivol to win this fight because there's more money to make when Bivol wins this fight. May I say? It's a business at the end of the day.
Do we have fight time for this?
Yes, it is going to be about. I think the main event's going to be about 6 p.m. Eastern time.
They're fighting in the East Coast or they're fighting in the West? Because they both live in Canada, right? I don't know.
No, it's across the pond.
That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, they're fighting in Saudi Arabia. They're fighting in Riyadh.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, look it up, double check me. But I think the main event's gonna be about 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, yep. So 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. in the UK, 3 p.m. on the West Coast.
So I think everyone here, we've not heard LT's take on this. Everyone here agrees that Beterbiev is the slight favorite, or
no? You got LT got Bivol coming out.
Oh,
got Bivol.
Okay, you got Bivol. Kam Gee has Beterbiev, and I have Beterbiev. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, Strap. It's one of those fights where it can turn into Hagler Hearns and be over in like 4. You know?
Yeah. Regardless, I do also predict a rematch at some point.
These guys are like, they come from a place in the world where they're just old tough men, man. Dagestani, like Russians are just, they just built different. I remember when Canelo was fighting Triple G, and I saw Canelo hit Triple G with one of his hardest shots to the chin. Triple G ate that thing and turned back like a cyborg, and I'm like, okay, you different. So they're from the same area G's from.
They do have one person in common. He's one of their training partners, and he fought the other one. I want to say it's their countryman as well. What is it? Is it Alec?
We can find out real quick. I think I know what you're talking about.
So he gave his take on.
What was the word? What was the word on that?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, is it Gavad? What's his name? Gavad. What's his name?
Alexander. And back in
that guy.
Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, was he hurt in that fight?
So
those Ukrainians are tough.
I think he's from the same camp as Bivol. So
yeah, that fighter also lost to Benavidez on the last fight. That's the same guy.
You know what I'm saying? That's the one. That one. And so that's the one that everybody said. Well, Canelo said that Benavidez didn't look that impressive. So
yeah, because Beterbiev was able to get him out of there in 10 rounds TKO.
So
5 years ago at that. 5 years ago.
So there's a little good cross-reference point if I want to go check that out.
Right.
Just to show you what their culture is. Do you know another Dagestanian fighter that we all talk about? Khabib.
Kazakhstan?
Dagestan. It's Dagestan. It's in Russia. It's a Russian territory. Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm missing his name. Khabib.
Magomedov.
Yeah. Khabib is Dagestani too. They're built different. You have the Khabib fighting bears. The men out there are different, man. I don't know how they do that, man.
Is that what the hat is? Is that native to?
I think that's
Dagestani.
Yeah, Dagestanis. Yeah,
I can dig.
Them boys is different.
Very swaggy. Very much so.
All right, so we finally gave our takes on that one. I hinted to mine a while back, but so now you got it official. I stick to it. We ready to move on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is this one of Strap's favorite fighters right here?
Eubank Jr.
Or you like his dad?
I like his dad. But...
Okay, I thought so.
Man, oh man. Eubank
Look, I just
Jr.
I hope he wins just because of his comments he made on about
American
Frank Warren
fighters?
and all. Well, no, he made the comment about these promoters being scumbags, and Frank Warren threatened a lawsuit against them, which I'm like, okay, but a man's entitled to his opinion. He just said it on the world stage and had to apologize. So
he's playing with the big boss over there.
Well,
Everybody that talks about that man, you know what happens.
Look, we got
a man after Chris. You a man after my own heart.
Right.
We go after big dogs.
Right. Exactly. I'm with it, man. So, hey, man. All people out there, that's why I'm pulling for. Anytime you can agitate some promoters and things like that, hey, I'm gonna side with you.
Do we know anything about this opponent?
I'm looking.
No, that's why I'm siding with you, very casual take, but
like Eubank Jr.'s last fight was fire. His fights are always nice, man. Like.
So
he got knocked out by Liam Smith. Was it Liam Smith knocked him out? And then he came back in revenge. Got it back in blood. So that, as the young kids would say. But Liam Smith, it was, that one Central C song, we could go band for band. That's what they did. They went band for band. Liam Smith TK'd him, and TKO'd him, and then he returned the favor. His opponent, I don't know too much about him.
He fought Triple G and Jamie Muniga back to back, 2020 and 2021. Jaime Munguia. And
Edwin Palacios. Wait a minute now.
Polish.
Triple G.
Wait a minute.
One thing I do know about the Polish fighters is that they're extremely tough.
Put some respect.
Oh yeah, he did fight Triple G.
Triple G.
Fought Oscar Cortez. Ruben Diaz
is the name.
Kasim Omoma.
So
Kasim Omoma, man, that was a while back.
2016. Yeah, you're in for a tough fight regardless.
Yeah.
You're in for a tough fight.
Which promotion is this under? They're fighting out of Eddie Hearns? Because I see DAZN.
Yeah, I thought it was DAZN. Huh? You got DAZN Riyadh season.
Well, he works. He's a businessman. He'll work with you. So
yeah. Hey, scumbag or not?
Come on, man. Wait a minute. So let's find out what's the price on this. What's the pay-per-view price, man?
Oh,
usually DAZN doesn't give it. Is it free on?
This was the one they were supposed to say was supposed to be affordable.
Oh, let's see. Are we got any information? Because I've been on DAZN. I didn't see a price tag on it. Live fact checking. In the UK, like it's being priced at £20, $19.99. We got more information incoming. United States, how we feeling?
I don't see anything here.
For the US?
Oh, I see it. In the UK, it's $20. That's all I see. I don't see the.
They're gonna hide our price. When they
we
don't
pay the
show
most.
The price in the menu, it's expensive.
United States pay the most for pay-per-view, bro. It's crazy.
It's because
that's why people like. That's why people buy VPNs to bypass territories and watch fights. It's crazy. Man. We pay out here like a $69.99 for some trash ass.
You saw I don't know if you saw the pay-per-view numbers from Dubois and Anthony Joshua. Apparently they're like 15,000-20,000 pay-per-view buys in the United States, but damn near 1 million in the UK.
Yeah.
Just a little tidbit there. Right now, I don't see nothing. $20 in the UK though. Hey, that sounds good to me.
I think the zone it may cross over the same way because it's one channel. I mean, it's the same product. I think Netflix would cost the same in the UK, right? I'm assuming it's an app.
Nope.
Nah, they'll figure out ways to get that money.
Market value, man. This is a capitalist.
Because £20 is about 40, about almost like $35, $30.
Dang, you doing a dollar like
affordable.
that?
That's affordable.
A dollar is that weak against the British pound?
Oh yeah, the pound is bigger than the dollar by a little bit.
Oh, we go
talking politics now.
We could go ban for ban. Screw that. We can go M for M.
Let's go to this guy. He's an intriguing fighter that we're all paying attention to on the come up, and then especially in the weight division. We got Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron.
Hey, that's
Benjamin G.
Anytime he's on the card.
The surgeon.
We'll watch.
Look, I'm with it. He that crossover. That guy from the UK is gonna cross over to American fight fans because we love a showman.
Yes,
we love it. I love it.
There's always a place for Whitakers.
Right. Now in boxing, it's a great name coming from the UK. I actually was watching a little bit today. If y'all remember the Floyd Mayweather versus Emmanuel Augustus fight, I watched I think maybe 4 or 5 rounds, and man, just amazing. So to think of a fighter coming up, emulating it's a little bit of a Emmanuel Augustus style. Man, I never want to miss his fight.
Floyd always maintained that Emmanuel Augustus was his hardest fight.
Yeah.
Would you say Whitaker is, because we've only seen a sample size of his fights, right? But that small sample that we've seen, we're trying to construct the type of fighter that he is. Him in his mind, he would tell you, I am a defensive counter fighter. That's what he wants. He wants you to do something, so he does something. But sometimes I've seen his fights where his combinations are just ferocious and he's lethal uppercut. And then he adds in, of course, the antics and, but his antics kind of take your defense down and he attacks. Would you say is he a defensive fighter or is he offensive, opportunistic?
I think that's a blend of the two because he's if I could put him in the category, a counter puncher.
Very much.
But he has that ability to be first and to get off. So I think that's just with that style that he's putting out there that makes him versatile and to be able to do whatever style the fight is requiring at that time. So he's very mindful of putting on a show. So if he feels like he can overmatch a guy, he's probably gonna let him get off a little bit to catch him in between, because that's how you get those flashier knockdown situations, or you got a guy throwing a 3-punch combo, he catches the last shot and then he fires back his own 3-punch combination, but they all land, So
let's go back and just remember what we saw out of Caleb Plant.
Yep, exactly.
Just flashy enough. Okay, I got this figured out now. Hey, now let's entertain the crowd. I have an audience. All right, let's make the most of the situation. We give them something to remember me by.
Right. Now, I appreciate those guys that can do that, because it's extremely difficult to get in that ring and to let alone, show off a little bit in the meanwhile. So, it's risk reward. Hey, we'll be tuning in. So, this will be his 9th fight at a big stage. I know guys personally that are at that stage in their career have yet to ascend to that type of notoriety. So hats off to him for being able to market himself in such a way that he's that potential crossover UK fighter we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Or maybe what we thought Joshua could be.
Because this is happening in Riyadh, right? So he's gonna probably be one of the earliest fighters to get on because he's, I think, last on that list of fighters, right? Is he
probably No, I had just pulled it up, but he's probably gonna have the most grand entrance of all the fighters.
Oh yeah.
If you wanna, if you wanna.
His last one where he did what song did he do? All of the Lights.
Oh,
He brought a whole orchestra. And
yeah, orchestra. Oh my god,
that stuff was amazing.
Yeah,
he does. You're right. He's definitely gonna show up. He's gonna show up and show out. Like, yeah, that's his thing, man. That's his thing.
So it looks like he'll be the second fight on the televised portion.
So he's early.
Yeah, so if you want to watch that fight, make sure you're tuned
like
in early.
4 p.m.
Yeah, actually, there's a fight on here we didn't see that. I don't know if you're familiar with Wardley versus Clark, Opataya versus Massey. Oh yeah, Opataya's he's a cruiserweight, I believe. Cruiserweight belt holder from New Zealand. He's on this card. Eubank Jr. We talked about that. We have a couple of female fighters. Looks like what's that? Australia or New Zealand and the UK, and then Ben Whitaker versus Liam Cameron. And we have actually a Saudi fighting on this card as well. First fight of the televised. So we get a home countryman getting on there. So, Turkey said, "Hey, we trying to get my boys in there."
Good job, Kim. You think this is a step up in competition for Whitaker? 23. Opponent is 23-6. Last loss a split decision for the vacant WBA Intercontinental Light Heavyweight title. Before that, his opponent had a TKO victory, first round TKO victory over Hussein Taba. So before that, knockout. So
hey, this is a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight card. I don't think he's just gonna run through this guy, but I do think the levels will show themselves as the fight goes on. Which I think that's what I think some fight fans are wanting to see a test, and on that magnitude. So this will be a good fight card, man. It wasn't publicized that there was going to be a cruiserweight belt on the line for the IBF from the guy that's from Australia. I don't know if I said New Zealand or Australia, but I've been trying to watch this guy, Jai Opataya, so he fights in this card as well. We're talking about Whitaker. This is actually a really, really good fight card if you want to see some quality boxing throughout the card, and Turkey does it again.
And remember, again, this is happening on the 12th of October. It's not happening this weekend. So just to let you know.
We just excited.
Our early predictions.
Early predictions. And as a lead up, man, when we start to see them, facing off, maybe that may change. So, hey, you never know. That face off.
I made my bold prediction, so
yeah.
He's standing on it.
So we had some announcements coming in. Got a little more boxing to add to the calendar before the year's up for 2024. This one official or what?
Has Tank fought this? Is this the second fight for Tank this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs an opponent desperately, man. He's fighting potentially the Lamont Rose Jr. 25 wins, 10 wins by knockout, 1 loss and 1 draw. Golden Glove champ out of 2013. With his background. Lost to Jamel Herring in 2019. That is Jamel Herring. Is that my Dallas guy?
Small guy. Yeah, he's the veteran. That's who Shakur got his.
The Marine.
Yeah. That's who Shakur got his first title against.
This will be a definite a fight I'm not trying to see.
Now, good segue, because I put it on here because it's Tank sells, right?
Oh, we watching it. We watching it for sure.
Tank versus anybody.
Right.
But I mean, let's just put it into context. Like, Tank is box office. Is he daring to be great? I wouldn't say daring to be great. I think he's made it known that, he's in the business of boxing and he doesn't really care about what people think. Like, what belt does he have? He has like the WBO belt right now or whatever.
And he doesn't really he don't really care about that. They have the common opponent, by the way, Hector Garcia from the DR.
So,
I mean, who Tank beat in 9 rounds back in 2023. I mean, look, I don't know. I think guys are not wanting to be in the ring with him or abide to the rehydration clauses. It's more of the business. I don't think Tank's, with his amateur background, I don't think he's scared of these guys. But he does understand the business. And at the end of the day, once you're in the ring, you're trying to get as much money in the bank account as possible. So I can never really handle that. I just think that he's right. Being trained under Floyd, I think people forget how mean Floyd was. Like I mentioned the fight against Emmanuel Augustus, bro. Floyd was throwing. It was a lot of punches thrown in that fight. So yeah, he actually was fighting guys, and I think as fight fans, you want to see Tank get into some fights. Like we've seen him, we've seen some boxing, but we want to see some fights. Selfishly, so we know where to place him as far as like how we rank boxers. But him personally, he trying to get the bag.
Yeah. I've been looking at Tank's activity trend. Tank in 2013, Tank fought 5 times, and I think the next time that he has fought that amount of fights within the year was 2015. Ever since then, Tank has just been averaging 2 fights a year, if that. I think 2020 only fought once. Maybe he had some legal issues. I don't know, but only fought once. He's not a very active guy.
No.
For being that young. I mean,
he does have 30. He does have 30 fights, though. He has 30 fights already. So
but he's been fighting since 2012. It's 2024.
Yeah, so he's saying
that's a long time ago. He's been fighting for a long time. Remember, he was pro before David Haney and all them boys. Tank has been around for a while. Never, I lied. 2013 is when he started. But still, that's 11 years ago. Look at the his peers of his age and that have been fighting since youth, since young.
30 fights though.
That's still like legit. That's legit.
At 29 years old, 30 fights. He's someone that, his body type doesn't lend to a guy fighting well into his 30s. He kind of blows up a little bit, but he's changed a little bit his regimen.
And let's also say Tank his body. He's not been into real wars. He's only had a split decision or. He's only had 2 decisions in his whole career. A lot of his fights don't even pass. I don't know. I may have to do a little chat GPT here.
Last time he had a decision was back in 2014.
Oh wait.
2014.
Not Pitbull?
He had a
no, Isak. Yeah, he did Isak Cruz.
Pitbull, yeah.
Back in 2021, but before that it was 2014. So
yeah, so his body's fresh, I think. He never really goes to
Frank Martin kind of touched him up a little bit. We never saw Tank leave a fight with any type of damage, and I feel like the first time I remember seeing Tank looking like he got into a fight.
Yeah,
and I thought Frank Martin had a decent game plan, just stayed in those corners, but yeah, he was able to land some flush left hands. I don't know if that was a game plan so he can get his shots off. Some guys have power. They invite the pressure so they can be a little closer to sit on their punches. But
if I look at David Haney's career, I'll say David Haney has taken a lot of punishment. I've seen David Haney in he's fighting for his life, and he pulls it off, right? Tank really, he's breezing, he's doing backflips, he climbs the top ring back. I'm like, dude, you still got energy. Like, you're not even left third gear. You're just chilling. Haney's like all swollen and all beat up.
In the argument of being closer to your natural weight.
Yeah.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So, we threw this one. Yeah. We threw that one on there. That we got a ways away to see how that car materializes. We know a little bit about it. We are anticipating this, though. I think I predicted this. Kind of right on time. Benavidez versus Morel that's the first choice. Morel is the first choice of opponent. So now that we know Tank's opponent, depending on the card, Benavidez may be the main, and Tank may be the co-main this time because Tank said, he said this in the moment, we can do this again, and I'm even willing to be the co-main next time. So, and we can switch it, which is big. That's big business right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's also feel like a little bit of understanding where he's at. Like, he's not fighting the bigger name, and we know Morel is a threat. Even regardless of what happens with this fight with Benavidez, he's a threat down the line for champion. So I respect that if Tank steps aside, lets Benavidez become that main event, because a lot of these guys, that is a very ego driven as far as working with other guys. Boxing world, hey, let's work together and make these things happen, make the biggest event possible. So I hope this gets done. Like, this fight specifically, like, let's get this done. Let's put it on the books. I want to see it. I'm going to root for both guys. I like both guys, so I think Benavidez will win if we want to go early prediction, but make it happen. Turkey, who is this on the promotion on this? Is it Turkey? Do we just assume it's always Turkey from now on?
Turkey. TGT. What you mean it's Tank? TGT.
Oh yeah. He haven't branched out. Yeah, he's not crossing over yet.
Shout out to Al Heyman, right?
Yeah. He kind of in behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So
ventriloquist.
Hey.
Okay. Did you want to throw out that Plan B name that you seen on the internet?
Hey, which one?
Josh. Who was it? Oh, no. Hart. Who did you say?
Oh, Jesse Hart. Jesse Hart. Yes, that was also a name that is floating around. Please no. For the love of God,
boxer. No. This is a boxer, not a professional wrestler.
Yeah. I mean, look, Jesse Hart probably looking for that fight that he can make some money and call it quits. 31-3, 35 years old. For those
Andre Bardo.
We were looking.
Andre Bardo versus Mayweather. You need my retirement bag
before you out. Yeah, man. I think that's what we're looking at. Previously had an 8-round fight in his last fight back in April. When you have that many fights deep, you tend to not see guys go back and take 8-round fights. So if that fight gets made, it'd be tough. That'd be a tough card to sell. Tank Davis versus Lamont Rose Jr. and then David Benavidez versus Jesse Hart.
Oh man.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Who keep him on standby? Who do we want? Jesse Hart or Kevin Holland?
I mean, yeah, that's a tough sell, man. That's a
keeping
real
it pushing. So, two names that I didn't expect to come up right now, especially this first one: Jermall Charlo versus Demetrius Andrade. Reignited talks for the December 14th undercard. So this was previously negotiated. And it fell through because of negotiations. So I think it was Boo Boo, right?
Yeah.
He pulled out because of the negotiations. But these guys have been going back and forth for a while. And
5 years, man. I'm thinking like a good 5 years, man. Like needs to fight. Andre has not fought this year, and that's been his biggest criticism is his inactivity. Fought twice in 2023, and then before that, fought twice in 2021, once in 2020, and twice in 2019. So last few years, 5 years, he's got like.
Is his biggest fight against? Is his biggest fight against Munguia? Did they?
Andre.
Yeah.
His biggest fight was Benavidez last year.
Oh yeah, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he got beat up pretty nice.
So this was a Canelo sidestep, unfortunately, right? Andrade. I have to think way back to figure out and remember exactly how that happened, but
right, there was some lead up to it. How you got in that situation with Benavidez and not with Canelo, but he's been a guy that will show up to the press conference and try to get these fights. So it, to me, outside looking in, seems that these other opponents didn't see the financial upside in taking the fight with him. Awkward style, not a huge name in boxing, and they just kind of put him on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's got Sulecki is on his record. He's got a unanimous decision against Sulecki back in 19.
Yeah, that's when he was tough. He had a tough outing against Danny Jacobs.
Yeah.
He had the WBO middleweight title, retained. TKO against Jason Quigley in 2021. And then there was this huge inactivity between 21 and 23.
Yeah.
So somewhere in there was some kind of Canelo step aside.
Yeah. Yeah. I really hope they can make this fight happen. We need to see both these guys back in the ring. Granted, Charlo's mental health hopefully is there.
Didn't he like kind of, isn't he fighting some litigation issues, some legal issues?
DWI. I don't know if that's enough to keep you out of the ring. Maybe we're talking about the NFL or something like that. Maybe not. I don't know. But actually, did they fight on the same card? Did Andre fight on the same night that Charlo fought? I think I'm looking at the box rec. It looks like they fought on that same day, November 25th of last year. I think they might have been on that same card. Interesting. Let's make it happen, man. Get in there and
make
fight.
It happen.
Y'all been beefing since 2018. Get in there
and then fight Caleb Plant. And then fight Caleb Plant after that.
Look, Caleb Plant with all the smoke.
Yeah, whenever I think about that fight, I'm like, yeah, that needs to happen immediately too. After he gets healthy.
Is that the right brother?
I think he got beef with the family.
Yeah. Brothers was beefing at that time, so
yeah.
Maybe it's Jamel, not Jamal. One of them is beefing. I think it's Jamel that was beefing with Crawford too. One of them was beefing with Crawford, and Crawford said he wants to go up to fight one of the Chalos. So I don't know.
Yeah, they got real quiet. We haven't heard anything since. Interesting though, on that card from November 25th when David Benavidez beat Andre, Luis Garcia fought Lamont Roach on that card, and Lamont Roach lost, so that's a potential tank opponent. And then we had Charlo fought Jose Benavidez Jr. by unanimous decision. So some of these crossovers they were on there. Oh, Cabrera Moulton was open that night up back last year. Yeah, we had Lipinets. That was an overall decent card. Yeah, Showtime. Rest in peace, Showtime.
Right.
Man. Brought some good matches back in the day.
Right, I just had good memories right there.
Yeah. Well, I think That's all she wrote for today. Is that fair to say?
We ready. We ready for some fights, man.
We covered.
We got Andrade on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what's up.
Ready for some fights now.
Yeah, now we're ready for the fireworks this weekend and leading up to the next weekend. So, as we already said earlier, like, this was one of those Friday night specials. The night doesn't have to end here, but it definitely has to. The show has to end here. So, fellas, who is fighting?
Who's fighting?